I love the internet. It's my teacher, my job, my lover with 1,000 vaginas, so I want to talk about the internet, and especially about words on the internet, because besides pictures, movies, numbers, sounds, and flash animations of people dancing in silhouette about their APR, words are all we really have on the internet. We use them to tell people how we feel, usually about them. We use them to converse with people from all over the world about why their country is so shitty, and in general, we use whatever words we want. It's liberating, right? Fuck this! Gay! Posts are padded with pricks and forums are filled with fucks. Not literally, of course, that would require a lot of video embed, but we say what we want, don't we? We say things you can't say on TV. Things George Carlin only got to say off stage, and that's saying something. And we start to think that we can say anything, because really, who cares? It's the motherfucking internet. It's not like school, not like the internet can go, "Hey, who said that? Which one of you little snots called me a bowl of menstrual soup?" But there are those words. Those words that almost guarantee you're going to spend the next 8 hours getting death threats in your private messages folder. Things you say out of anger. When you've spent your lunch hour systematically deconstructing the arguments of some 14-year-old fuck who thinks he knows so goddamn much about the Spider-Man mythos. So unless you get off on hitting refresh all day, then there are words that you just kind of stop using on the internet, because let's face it, unless you're browsing through pornography, and that's only about 60% of the time, there is a bare level of human decency that most people still seem to expect. And there are 7 words you just cannot post without risking becoming the one-man figurehead of the losing side of a flame war. You want to know what they are? Nigger, cunt, faggot, zig heil, Scientology, baby rape, and meh. Now, nigger and cunt I understand. They just hit the brain wrong. Racism, sexism, it's like a matching set of intolerance. And even though it's a well-rehearsed fact of internet life that we're all white nerds with, albeit tiny, penises living in our parents' apartments, you try calling someone a nigger cunt online and see how many black women there suddenly seem to be surfing at 4 in the morning. But that's understandable. These are 2 oppressed groups. People get kind of touchy when you start picking on the oppressed. You can even keep the ironic approximation of black language, just not the word. That's their word. At least if you want to get in and out without having to fabricate a history of civil rights activism just to prove you're not a grand wizard. Now, faggot's a slippery one. You can say fag all day. No one seems to mind. I guess if you're stupid enough to care what 2 guys do with each other's butts, then people kind of disregard your opinions anyway. But faggot? Uh-oh. Now we're in hard consonant territory. You don't fuck around in hard consonant territory. If the faggot gauntlet's been thrown, you can bet someone in this conversation is hunched over their keyboard, mashing it with all their angry might. It must be that got at the end that does it. And that's the only difference I can see. I mean, it's like they're angry because they've taken over. Oh no, the fag got me! Zig Heil, that's your Hitler reference, which you still can't really whip out without some backlash. That's impressive staying power. I mean, 6 decades on, he's still the world's #1 symbol of evil. Imagine that. He's like the Mickey Mouse of evil, except Goofy is Goebbels and Minnie is on fire in a ditch. It's more than Dahmer can say, that slacker. He even tried to ride on Hitler's coattails with that swastika on the forehead. Come off it, Charlie. We all know you ain't the guy. So Hitler's out. Probably not coming back into vogue anytime soon, unless it's ironically or because brown stirrup pants and red armbands make it big. And speaking of ironic, baby rape. Again, not a bad sounding phrase. Almost sounds like baby grape, which is actually kind of pleasant. Even switching the words isn't as bad. Rape, baby. I mean, still inappropriate, but it sure sounds a lot cooler. But baby rape is usually deployed ironically nowadays. Really the whole pedophilia domain. A lot of people like pulling it out as the shock card. Baby eating, puppy killing, it's all good. And of course, you've got rape, which is right up there with AIDS in terms of shit you're not supposed to joke about. So every smartass online simultaneously thought, Jesus, you know what's hilarious? The thought of forcing myself sexually on a baby. Of course, that thought has to be translated into a joke first. You don't just post, I'd like to force myself sexually on a baby, at least Not if you don't want to feel the full force of the internet shouting you down, and maybe even a friendly visit from some men who work for the government and would like to examine your hard drives. After all, everyone likes fucking with people and feeling good about it at the same time, and there's not a lot more satisfying than fucking with a baby rapist. Or maybe there is, but only the baby rapist and the ancient Greeks know for sure. As for Scientology, they're kind of in the Bill Cosby class of words insofar as just mentioning them isn't a killer, but do it enough and they'll be watching. You can even get away with it as long as you don't frequent forums that their lawyers don't bother checking out. I doubt a lot of Scientologist figureheads are lurking in 4chan threads. The Rickrolls alone would make it a futile effort, but mention them in less than glowing terms on YouTube or any other major site and you're in for something that makes internet flame wars look tame. A cease and desist letter. Post enough passionate diatribes against that particular cult, and next thing you know, you've lost your social security number, your last day tax returns are being audited, and way more people than usual stop on the street to ask, "What are your crimes?" Now I know what you're saying. What's wrong with meh? Sounds like the sound made by an adorable imaginary animal. Meh! But no. No, the sound of meh is the sound of the person who thinks so little of your input, they can't even be bothered to type gay. The person too lazy to articulate their thoughts beyond a monosyllabic interjection, and yet so confident in their opinion that they will casually cast judgment on your entire being. Don't bore me, they warn. And when faced with that kind of ultimatum, there's really only one answer. Well, 7, actually.